Just hanging out with the goaties this morning. And the kitties. I got one cat has made its way into my pocket. The other cat is sitting here on my shoulder. And I'm just over here trying to pet these goats. Meanwhile, it's turned into like an animal climbing gym. Yeah. Got a little cat butt. Still got one cat in my pocket. Somebody's trying to say hi. Who's there? Is that Elsa? And there's Vern. He's getting more interested in loves, but he's still a little shy. Vern, is that a beard I see developing on you? Are you growing your beard? Hey friends, it is October 7th. And we are having a very unusually dry and warm fall, and I'm absolutely loving it. So I'm out here in the garden tonight getting ready to pick tomatoes. Now my tomatoes this year got a little mixed up, and my trellising, I really gave up on it after I put the initial strings up and hadn't really taken care of it after that. So I thought these were going to be a determinate tomato, so I thought that would be a good type of trellising, but I think they're an indeterminate and I got them mixed up. Anyway, they're barely supported here, and I'm going to come through and pick the ones that are blushing, and I'm going to let those ripen inside. That gives me a chance to monitor them a bit better, and it gives the plant more energy to send to all these other tomatoes by taking them off early and letting them ripen inside. So I want to just give you a look, and then I'm gonna have to put this camera down and really get some work done, because these aren't the only tomatoes that I'll have to pick today. I also have my heirloom tomatoes and my cherry tomatoes, so it's time to get this filled up. So over here I've got my trellis to make you jealous that I watched on another YouTuber's channel and built this based off his design. And that here is the cherry tomato tunnel, and you can see this is not what I had intended. So these Romas are determinates, and so they're a bush that just all grows up and then fills out and does not continue growing after it's set its fruit. Whereas these indeterminates, they continue to grow taller and taller as they set fruit. And so this style of trellis is good for those, whereas I was intending for these to be over there on the Florida weave trellis, since it doesn't quite go up as high. But you can see those ones wanted to climb a lot higher, so they should have been over here. And there's two varieties over there. There was the Ace, and then there's some other sort of like beefsteak deal, and I don't remember what it was called, but it got mixed in there too. So we're gonna grab these Romas. I'll just go through and show you everything, and then I'm gonna pick it and get it in the bucket. So only picking ones that are red or blushing. So that's not blushing yet. It's a little more yellowy than green, but it's not blushing yet. Here's some plants that didn't quite work out. Here we've got it's gonna be red with like a darker crown on top. This is the color that I would pick this at. And you can see that one will be ready to pick. This one, not quite ready. That one I might let just stay on a little bit longer. It is hanging, well, it's actually not touching the ground, so that's good. Yeah, this trellis is, I don't want my fruit on the ground, but I did not prune really at all or continue trellising these, and so they did not go up the string as I would have hoped. But that's okay, we still have plenty of fruit off of these. Okay, I filled up some more, and This area still has quite a few green tomatoes, and so we're just gonna leave those be. And I wish I could keep them off the ground. The slugs have been getting at them. So I've lost quite a few ripe ones to slugs just because I didn't have them trellised properly. But hey, we're still getting a ton of food. Hey friends, we just finished dinner. We had goat loin dip sandwiches. Kind of like a take on French dip sandwiches made with goat loin that I cooked in the Instant Pot. Sorry, I'm just like looking around. I had a cedar. Oh, there it is. I had my cedar all ready with my cover crop, and I gotta go get that planted. Just finished dinner like I was telling you about. Oh, we had my take on French dip sandwiches using our goat loin that we had from Dinner Cloud. I'm going on a few trips. So it was our last bit of meat from Dinner Cloud that we harvested last November. And I cooked the loin up in the Instant Pot and then kind of shredded it up, put it on some hoagie rolls, and then used that, oh man, this orchard looks amazing. Use that juice from in the Instant Pot to make a dip, kind of like a French dip. Had some sauteed onions and carrots from the garden. It was amazing. Yum. All right, so my dad ended up coming. So I took the day off work because the rains. Today is Thursday. I thought there was going to start raining. It hasn't rained in ages. I thought it was going to start raining on Sunday. And so I kind of had things planned out so that I could get this orchard finished by then. Well, the weather report changed and it was going to rain all day on Friday. So I decided to take Thursday off and have been at home today working hard to get out here and get my orchard finished before it starts raining. So it's really important for me to be able to do all my tractor work while it's dry because this area gets so wet during the wet season. And you know what? It's raining right now, and it sprinkled a little bit earlier today. So behind me at the very tippy top, you can see there's a lot of exposed soil. I'm going to use this 5-way cover crop. I just dropped all over. It's got, it's got rye, vetch, buckwheat, clover, and peas. And I'm going to get that on all the bare soil. My dad moved all this mulch for me. So now not only do we have our trees that we've planted mulched, but we have the whole 2 rows ready so that we can plant more fruit trees next spring. And I need to get this cover crop on the ground up there. So I'm going to have to put you guys down and get to my job because it's raining. Oh my gosh, cat's climbing up my leg. Come on, baby. How far can you make it? Anyways, I've got to get this done and get that raked in because it's Thursday night and I have to work tomorrow morning and it's going to be dark soon. Here we go. Oh, yes, warrior, get it.
Look at this big fat golden.
Isn't it gorgeous?
It's kind of overgrown.
Yeah, a little overgrown. Well,
Yeah.
that's okay. Sometimes things
Some
look
spots
a little
are
shaggy. So we planted about, I'd say 50 feet of tomatillo plants. Don't ask me how many, but they're crammed in here quite good. And here is my harvest from today. They go all the way down to kind of like where those zinnias are. And this, I'd say, was about maybe a third of what's there. So hopefully we'll get some more growth out of these. I did just check the weather report because I was just telling y'all it's not supposed to freeze soon, and in about 4 or 5 days it might get down to 35, which is still pretty chilly for these plants. But I don't think it'll totally ruin the crops that are on here if I don't get them picked by then. But there is just a ton of stuff in the garden right now that needs to be removed. A lot of it I could feed to the goats and the chickens. and compost the rest. But we've got to get these tomatillos inside. My bushel is full, and I actually need to get inside, make dinner, and can up some bruschetta that we made. Hey friends, happy Halloween. It is October 31st, 2022, and I'm out here today doing the second harvest on these tomatillos, and I'm so grateful we've had such a long summer because these would not have produced as much if it were not barely any as much if it were more of a traditional summer around here. I've also got these cottonwoods. Yeah, those cute little fluff balls that were blowing around earlier, all seeded throughout my garden, and if I hadn't been pulling them all summer long, this would just be covered in these. It's crazy how easy these set seed. And you know, I had just put down fresh compost, so they were pretty happy. So I've got these that'll be coming out. What I'm gonna do is, it's starting to get pretty cold and pretty wet. Okay, not pretty cold, but it's consistently getting down into the 30s at night. Not quite freezing yet, but it's also very wet, and these plants are just, the produce on these plants is probably at its peak quality right now. So I'm gonna just actually clip the whole plant and then probably make a big pile underneath my porch, and then from there I'll just harvest the fruits off of that. I think it'll be a lot easier than hand picking them all. Plus they got to get pulled anyways and put into the compost so that we can start a new project in this area. I'm gonna get picking. Whoa! All right, this is one plant that I clipped from the ground, and this is its plethora of tomatillos and leaves. So I'm going to take this up, set these on the deck. Wow, this is going to be a lot of work, but this is going to make it so much easier. This has got to be one of my favorite of the winter squashes we've grown this year. Just a little slug. I'm super pleased with how it turned out, and it took a long time to get right, but I think it looks beautiful. We can go put this under our front porch. Hey there, check out the final tomatillo harvest. So I harvested off the tomatillos about a week ago, or maybe even less than a week ago, and got quite a few off the plant. And now I had some time, it's not raining out, temperatures are getting colder and it's getting wetter, so I just harvested the whole plant, and here they are. That gives me a bit more time before I have to get in here and actually harvest the fruit, but it will be much less stressful than if they were out in the rain. So I'm going to pretty much do the same thing I just did with the tomatillos, and I'm going to come over here and do that with the tomatoes and get these up on my porch. Here's the final look at what we pulled out of the garden today. So we've got heirloom slicing tomatoes, we've got Romas, we've got large paste tomatoes, we've got tomatillos, and sunflower heads. So I'm pretty much not going to do anything with these tonight. There's a lot of things in the house already that need to be taken care of, and once those things are taken care of, then I'll start working on getting this stuff ready to be inside. But they should be just fine under cover here for a couple of days. Here's just a quick little update on the orchard. And the update is that it's not going well, and I'll probably have to replant most of the things I planted this fall. But that's okay, because you just want to keep moving forward and not worry about mistakes you've made in the past. So this got planted in, I believe, late September, maybe even October, and the trees just did not have a healthy summer. I got these last spring, which I showed the unboxing of these, and they were in pots for most of the summer and they did okay, but I should have watered them better. They didn't get planted in till fall. So I didn't have this site prepared last year, and I am okay with these not making it and just buying fresh ones this spring, and then I already have these prepared and they can go right into the ground and have a just really good year and just don't have to come back from being in a state of poor health. And they just, I'm guessing, will shoot off a lot quicker than these ones. These ones didn't really get much growth. Sorry if I'm wobbling. This is my Insta boot for this foot because I have a surgery boot on the foot. Anyways, farm fashion. So there's spaces down here that I hadn't even ordered things for yet anyways. So I have to order more anyways. So might as well replace those if need be. This whole row here, let me show you what I do have planted, and we'll just kind of take a look at how it's going. Oh yeah, so one of the reasons why I didn't go well, the plants weren't that healthy, but also this area, this fence is not a secure fence, and the elk, for the first time that I've ever seen, have started coming through that space in the wood fence and coming in here, and they have been nibbling on these plum trees a little bit, so I'm curious to see what they look like. They were also nibbling on this electric net fence when it wasn't plugged in, so they've been having some fun. We're going to be putting up a perimeter electric system around this whole inner pasture that's going to be garden space next year, but that job's a few months down the road. Down here between these two wood chipped mulched rows, I have a 5-way cover crop seed that it germinated really well. I think I could have put it on heavier, but also it has been grazed pretty hard by the elk and the goats, of course. Okay, so this is, I picked this up at the local Coastal Hardware. Okay, this is a semi-dwarf freestone called the Brooks Prune. It's a plum tree. And this actually doesn't look like it got nibbled on too bad. It'll just need a, oh, that's where they did it. They were nibbling on that. Well, looks like I have some research too. Okay, this one has the bark stripped off of a few of the smaller limbs. Oh yeah, lots of stuff eaten off. However, I have a feeling it can make a comeback from that. Oh yeah, gotta check that. They didn't strip too much off the trunk there. That's what I need to figure out, is how detrimental is a stripped trunk to a young fruit tree. Okay, this one's looking pretty good. I don't see anything stripped off the trunk, so that's great. This is oh, the Hollywood plum. All right. Okay, and down this row are some figs and elderberry. This is an elderberry, which does not look that great, but I hear the elderberry grow pretty quick, so I think it'll be fine and make its big growth spurt next year. Oh boy, this does not look good. It looks like there used to be something there, and this is just kind of shrubby. Another elderberry. Okay, and this is a fig that got nibbled on. And my other figs are over back by the house in a pot, which I probably should have moved, and it's gotten down to 17 degrees the last day or two, and it's probably pretty cold for these little figgies. Hey friends, it's December 28th, and I just finished my morning chores, and I'm out here in the garden checking out the progress on our high tunnel. Wow, I'm so excited. Just being able to, well, I haven't actually walked under it yet, but imagine walking under it. It's way, feels way bigger than I thought it would, and super exciting. So let's go take a look at the progress before the man who's working on it shows up for work so that we don't get in his way. All right, Warrior is going to join us for our walk in the garden this morning. Whoa, soft spot down there. All the animals just got fed, and I collected a few eggs, and wow, this is so cool. So there'll be 2 doors, one on each end. They're a double door that'll be centered in the middle on each end. And this area out front, I have imagined it as a cut flower garden, and I'm assuming it will still take shape as that, but you never know, plans always change, so we'll see. But this would be kind of you would walk through here and then be able to come into the high tunnel, and in the high tunnel we'll be growing our warm season crops like tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers, and also seeing what we can grow for early spring and late fall crops as well. Whoa, this just feels awesome. So you can see these are all the cottonwood seedlings that I don't want to break any roots off. I'm so paranoid about breaking off roots and just having the thing regrow. So we've got a lot of bed care that needs to happen once the high tunnel is constructed. It'll be, look, I could come out here when it's raining and chill and weed this area. How cool is that? In some of the areas we've got some leaves down just as to protect the soil. Don't have it all over, but that's okay because you just do the best you can. Well guys, this is a very exciting journey, and I hope you are enjoying following along with me, and I can't wait to show you more of the progress of our high tunnel being built for us.